All right. Good morning. What's going on? What's popping, everybody? Everybody, what's popping? East New York's finest, hosted by Mike. What's going on? Well, this last week has been crazy. I'm gonna talk to you guys about storage units, my personal thoughts on people on YouTube who does storage, my own experiences with that, and how I feel a lot of stuff is staged, as well as the hiccups I went through this week buying storage units. There's always a catch-22 to everything. And then my pickups. The only good thing about Wednesday going to Melville, New Jersey, was being able to go to a couple of targets and check things out. That should be a new word. Like, you know, you mix check and target together. Target. That's my. I'm a whatever. Anyway, but you know, you gotta make the best of what things are. There's a lot of griminess when it comes to buying storage units, especially being that everything is online now. So you have to take heed to all that. I'm going to explain that, as well as stuff that I've been picking up to try to finish off a lot of this stuff. And yeah, what I picked up in Target, I think I went to like 4 Targets, 2 going and then 2 coming back. And on the way coming back was when I got some stuff. I think one going, and then on the way coming back. Or whatever, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to open up the packages in front of you guys. And I'm going to explain to people out there who collect the Super 7 Ultimate 3 3/4 Joes, aka the new O-Ring, or aka the Super 7 Articulated 3 3/4 Joes, whatever you go by or whatever. I'm going to explain a couple of things to you on how it works with Target Plus and what's on Target Plus versus Target themselves. I found that out also on Wednesday evening, going to a Target, basically begging and pleading to be able to grab 2 figures that somebody returned back from Target Plus online, and they weren't allowed. Target's not allowed to sell them. It's not even in their system to be able to sell them or give somebody a deal on them. That's crazy. I found that out. So stay tuned for all that coming up right now. So the first thing I'm going to get to is, I guess it makes more sense because we all know I go off the beaten path when it comes to talking. I'm going to talk about the storage units. So the storage unit that I now rent from, yes, rent. I got a beautiful room a couple months ago that was fucking awesome. I made I made almost $8,000 off of this unit. It was all Le Corso pottery and all types of expensive knife sets. I mean, I did fucking phenomenal. And I still have all of the carpets in my garage that are heavy, and I don't know what to do with them. But I know his stuff is high end because his shit is high end. I kept all the furniture. Still have a lot, but I'm gonna, rechange prices and just, instead of me donating them, I'm gonna try one more time to make them even cheaper so people can buy it versus me giving it away for free, because I could use that storage unit. Then I rented last month another storage unit because I took advantage of get a truck from U-Haul and you get a room for free. So I have the rest of this month for it to be free. So maybe I'll just be able to keep 1 unit instead of 2. Or, I don't know, I'll figure something out. So anyway, I got a unit from that location, which is odd because normally when I buy units there, I do very well. This unit was not bad. A lot of books, a lot of DVDs, and unfortunately a lot of Nintendo Switch empty cases and cases for the Switches, but no systems. Makes sense because, normally when I see a system like a Switch in a storage unit, I get flabbergasted because I'm like, why would they put something they could carry with them in the unit? But this person didn't like throwing nothing away. I mean, the unit is worth it for what I paid, because you know there's a lot of outdoorsy stuff that they kept in storage, and like I said it once and I'll say it again and I'll keep saying it until the end of time. I love buying storage units that look like somebody have their whole apartment, or their whole apartment and or their whole house or their lively possessions in a unit, versus an individual that has space or have their own apartment room or whatever, and they just put overflow stuff that they just want to keep in storage so they won't have less accumulation. Those are the units I don't like as much, because again, they don't have like a lot of worldly possessions in there. Most of their worldly possessions are going to be where they're staying, in their homes or wherever they're renting from or whatever they own and stuff like that. Because believe it or not, people have homes and still have storage, because they have so much and they have nowhere to put it, and they just like to hoard. Those are the units I like. I like them better because, again, everything is in there. So this unit was definitely a unit that this individual just, you know, rented a storage unit and put all that extra shit or stuff that they have for seasonal or whatever in this unit, and they just let it go and say, fuck it, I don't care. You know, so a lot of DVDs, a lot of books, etc. Did I get my money back? I mean, well, will I get my money back for what I spent on that unit? You figure after taxes and everything, I'm just shy of $100 on that unit. I wasn't particularly happy with it because, you know, you want the world, especially being that the week prior I got spoiled. But it was worth it. I mean, you know, it is what it is. I mean, I'm not going to break bank on it, but I would do okay, especially due to the fact that I didn't have to rent anything. All I had to do was transfer stuff from that unit right down the hall to a unit that I'm already renting that I got for free for the month. So outside of that, here comes same day. I go to a place called, I went to a place I never heard of called, I think it's called Haverstraw, New York, which is like not too far from Poughkeepsie and the Bear Mountains. And let me tell you, the view and the road was terrifying. Again. Anyway, nice town. And two other guys that were there for auctions. One black dude from Long Island and a European guy. I don't know where he's from. But they must know each other because they had a nice conversation. I got in the conversation. We were talking, and they both got good units. The one black dude, he got a unit he paid $175 for. He liked that unit. The other European kid brought a big ass 10x30 that is so big that you could be in two different rows and open up the doors from either side. He was happy with his unit too. Me, I wasn't that happy. It was tons of clothing and everything. That unit cost me about $75 after taxes and the fees and everything. It was basically like a 60-something mile drive going and coming. So you figure like 130, let's say 130 miles both directions, which is a little over an hour drive. So that made it like, let's say 2 hours and 20 minutes and 130 miles. So mind you, I rented a truck. I decided to go with a 26-foot truck because I said that was a 5x15, and then the other unit in Millville, was 10x20, and I was like, well, everything should be able to fit in that 26-foot. So on Tuesday evening, I went to Haverstraw, New York, and again, that unit, I had to dump a lot of clothing. It was, a lot of decent clothes, but stuff that I knew that I can get money. I kept that stuff. It was mainly clothes, a couple of household things here and there, but mainly clothes, like fucking thousands of dollars worth of clothes this woman had in this unit. Unfortunately, a lot of the shoes and stuff like that were soaked and wet because of mice. There was mice carcasses in there, so I had to throw all that shit away. Stuff like that, I don't even try to put in the clothing bins because it's wrong and disgusting. You know what I'm saying? So I had to dump a lot of that shit. Then a lot of stuff I was able to put in clothing bins, as well as keep a lot of stuff that was compromised or whatever. Was it worth the trip? You figure, I say the trip's gonna cost me about, let's say $200 just in mileage, just around $200. So you figure with the taxes and the cost and stuff from the site, I'm gonna say 75. Let's say 80. 80 into that, and then 200 for the mileage going and coming in tolls. So we're at, let's say, $300. That's the best way to put it. So I'm at 300 on that. 300 plus. No, that unit cost me. No, that unit wasn't 50. Was it? But whatever. Let's say $300. Now Wednesday comes. It took me a long time to struggle to try to find a way to get to this place without hopping on a Garden State Parkway. Because remember, I'm in a 26-foot truck. There's a lot of clearance issues with trestles and bridges in that area. And of course, you don't want to get pulled over by a cop and get a moving violation. So I had to get on. There are certain points you can and you have to get on and off the Garden State Parkway with a truck of that size. 26-foot truck is a 12-foot height vehicle. Some points you have like exactly if around 12 to 12 feet 1 inch of clearance, and I believe some parts, depending on where it is like around 11 inches. 11 feet and 11 inches. So that's a little, you know what I mean? So I was really nervous, but it worked, and I found a way to get back without being molested by the Garden State. But that cost me an extra 45 minutes. And about another 35 or so miles. So let's just put it this way. And the unit there cost me $100, and then it was a $100 deposit. Even if it was a $300 deposit, it still wouldn't have warranted me trying to clean that filthy ass room. This is the worst unit I've ever purchased in the close to 15 years of me doing this. And that says a lot. I mean, when I tell you this room was filthy, every time I ate between Wednesday night and yesterday, I just kept having this image of animal feces and Vaseline and bugs and stuff in this unit. I'm already itching just thinking about it. That's how filthy this unit was. Now, this is my second time dealing with a company called Columbia Self-Storage. I dealt with one over a year ago. Approximately, I think it was 2024. In Rochelle Park, New Jersey, there's one. And the whole room was staged. They literally took candy wrappings, newspapers, empty water bottles that was twisted and crushed, and they put, the whole room was full of nothing but this garbage in boxes and bags. So I got so mad, I spazzed on them in the office, and they called the police on me. But I did get a Palatine machine out of there, if I'm saying it right. You know, those stationary bike machines. And that worked. It was brand new condition. I think somebody didn't want it, and they just put it in that unit. Thank God, that was the only thing I got in that unit. Everything else was just trash. And on top of that, I stole one of their storage cards. I took one of their fucking storage cards. Still have it to this day. And I took it right in front of the camera. That I didn't give a fuck. I went in the office, demanded my deposit back, and I was praying and hoping that they would, that they would actually confront me about the card, and I was going to tell them why I took it and why they wasn't getting it back. Not giving a fuck. But they never did, and it is what it is. I got my money back just from the Palatine machine that I kept, but those cards are money, and I actually kept it. So fuck them. So every time I saw a room, I would just curse them out and be like, no, fuck this. So on Tuesday, because I brought all 3 units on Tuesday, and on Wednesday I decided to go and clean out that unit in Columbia Storage in Millville. So I'm starting to think a lot of towns in central New Jersey are just like hick, redneck, disgusting, ghetto ass towns, kind of like Trenton. Because I'm starting to see a pattern. And then my boy Tony was like, yo man, Millville's a shitty ass town, da 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 da. I'm starting to believe him, because that place is disgusting. And even the guy that was 2 or 3 rooms down from me looked like a redneck, country inbred trailer trash white guy. And his stuff, he was like, oh, I got good stuff in here. And I'm looking at his shit, and also was metal garbage. Like, he was like the kind of person that would buy a $1,500 item for $15 and still be upset that he got it for $15. Like, he looked like he was a walking, talking tetanus shot. And even he was like, oh my God. Like, it was horrible. And the girl who ran it, some dyke-looking Spanish chick, and I wanted to put my hands on this bitch. Like, I really wanted to fuck her ass up. And when she came hours later, she's like, oh, you're still in this unit, huh? And I was like, man, listen, man, this shit was staged. I went the fuck in on her. And then she stood there. Now, mind you, it did say, I fucked up because it said manager special. I didn't look that far. I didn't really look at it. I'm not going to sit here and lie to y'all. And then when I called the storage place online, and he's like, well, you know it's a manager special, right? And I was like, oh my God. And then when I looked as he's talking to me, it said it. But then I thought quickly, and I was like, listen, I'm going to send you pictures. This is not a manager special buildup. I know what a manager special buildup is. And it's not taking garbage around your facility and accumulating this shit over time, putting it in a big-ass unit, and then stage the front with bins and stuff to make it look like it could be profitable, where you couldn't see mattresses or anything in the back, and then stage it, take pictures, and then have somebody come knowing they got to buy the unit and then empty it. Because it's like, yo, it was definitely over 7,000 pounds of filth. Easily. Mind you, it costs $140 for me to go to the Bronx 24 hours a day to dump. It costs $140 per ton. Anybody may not know, 1 ton is 2,000 pounds. So I'm looking at close to $600+ just to dump all this stuff. Not to mention another $80 to $100 each way for mileage. So I'm going to be around almost $850 just to dump and round trip mileage from the Bronx and back alone. And I gotta pay, I think it was like $25 or $30 per mattress, and there's 3 of them in there. So now that puts me at, let's say, $920. See, this is the thing. See, I like being straightforward. I'm not gonna be like, I almost mentioned names. I'm not gonna be like all these other so-called prestigious individuals on YouTube that have you guys thinking that this is all yay, and they like doing the drama and picking and choosing. I don't do that. I keep it straight real with you guys. And from now on, I'm going to start doing videos and posting my videos, whether it's a decent room, a good room. I'm going to start giving you guys the ins and outs on like all the catch-22's on what to expect and how to try to deviate from stuff. Of course, I'm no expert, but I'm close to one to know. But you know what? You can only go by what you see. And sometimes people always say, "Oh, I don't go to that neighborhood," and I never go by that, because I've gotten great rooms from people on welfare and dirt poor that I've gotten from people that have good jobs. I've gotten better units from the worst end of a devil's anus, this fucking horrible area, than I've gotten from greater areas. I've gotten more trashy units out of greater areas than I did out of bad. So I don't go by that. And then you got some people that they find out the people's names, they go by the name. I'm like, how the fuck? I think all that is like superstitious nonsense. I go by experience. Now, there was a company called Treasure Island before they got brought out or sold the business or whatever, that was well known for being grimy when it comes to storage auctions. Every Treasure Island I went to in Brooklyn, New York, Brooklyn, Queens, New York, and Jersey was all the same. They were all fucked up, crusty ass, don't give a fuck, stealing ass people. And now I know Columbia Storage does the same thing. I think they send out memos, or their DMs or their managers say, fuck it, just build it up. I think they communicate with each other, because it doesn't make no sense why, if one is in Rochelle Park here, and then another one is way down here in a whole different county, town, and city, over two and a half hours away, where they probably never met each other. Why is different company, two same Same company, different city, different county, different individuals doing the same exact shit. That goes to show that that this place allows this shit. If they didn't, how come this is happening? And the reason why I say that is because they gotta pay people to come in and clean out shit, and they gotta pay for dumpsters, which costs the company money. So it's easier, more feasible for a company to say, fuck it, just build a room up, take pictures, and put it up for auction. And then you say, hey, you know what? Just make sure you put manager special on it, so that way they know that was built up. See, what went against them, against this auction site online, was the fact that they did say manager special, which now implicates to this online site that we all use to know that these people put everything in the unit because it says manager special. What they're not supposed to do is take garbage, because when you take garbage and you put shit in a unit, you're staging a unit. Even though you say manager special, when it's pure garbage and filth in there, you can't do that. Now, I have to talk to Columbia Storage. I know, good luck on that. I'm not, like I told the storage site online, let them keep that $200. Now, my plan was to just to throw everything all out in the fucking place and just leave it like that, which I should have done. But they told me don't do that, because then if they get pictures and they see that, then they might have to ban me, because now that's just too far. So I took everything that was in boxes, I ripped the boxes open, I let glass break, I did all that shit. And I made it to where they had to really work. You're gonna take my $100 deposit, I'm gonna make you work for it. Y'all did some grimy assholey shit. Now I went all out through the room. I took pictures of everything so the storage site online can see that it was all pure, disgusting garbage. Then on top of that, I went through the unit. I cherry picked whatever I can. So I cherry picked everything I could. And even my kids are like, well, because I had to park the 26-foot truck U-Haul across the street from my house. So I had to park it in the wrong direction, one way parked, and then I put my trailer another way. So that way they were facing each other. So this way, Michelle and Isaiah, they can help me. So I was able, with everything I got from the unit in Haverstraw and in Millville, I was able to put, I would say about 95% of everything that was in the back of the truck that was salvageable inside my trailer, because I had enough room to put everything in my trailer, and everything just fit. So then the room that I got from where I rent from, I got some DVD and other stuff in there. I'm gonna put in the bed of my truck, my pickup truck today. So I'll probably go and start doing that early this morning, and that way I'll have a huge full load of stuff to try to make. If I can make the $1,100 back, I'll be happy. I don't know if I'm going to be able to accomplish that tomorrow, only because I'm not going to have that. I'm not going to have that kid David and a couple of individuals that buy high-end shit. I don't have high-end stuff for them, so I have to nickels and dime. What I've been doing as of lately was, I am scratching the side of my ass, just so y'all know. Yes, I am. We all do it. My ass is clean, and two, it's my ass and it's my hands. So it is what the fuck it is. And I can't stay long because we have to come back, get dolled and dressed up to go to my niece's baby shower for her second child in New York. So I'm gonna be excruciatingly tired. So today I gotta also get all dolled up and shaved and all this crap. So yeah, it is what it is, man. It was horrible. It was a horrible unit. There was a Sega Genesis box with some Sega Genesis stuff inside, but no Sega Genesis. That box and the stuff, I should be able to get like $40 to $60 for that. There was some other stuff. I mean, I was able to get a TV, a small 13-inch CRT TV. A guy named Victor I know, he asked me for one. Hopefully he didn't get one this week. I should be able to get like $20 from him for that, maybe even 30 because it has a VHS hooked up to it. And everything else is just like stuff that I try to accumulate together just to be able to make money. Do I got $200 worth of stuff back? Because again, I paid $100 plus tax. You can say I'm $140 on that unit between that and the fees and everything. And the $100 deposit I lost, which is still a lot better than me going all the way to the Bronx to dump that whole unit. And then with the mileage from that is like $700 going and coming. So again, I'm about $1,100 in the hole for 3 units and mileage. So I promised myself from now on, if it's not local, even if I have to do 2 trips, I am just going to use my Trello. Because if I use my Trello, it would have been a lot easier and better for me because I wouldn't be that much money in the hole. I would just have to worry about the units I brought. I didn't have to worry about mileage or anything because I have my own truck and trailer. So this taught me a lot. It taught me from now on, go far with your own trailer. Don't use, if I got to use a big truck just to get rid of a unit or whatever, make sure it's local. At least that way, I'm looking at a couple of $100. I mean, I'm looking at less than a couple of hundred than over or close to 1,000. Now again, that 1,100 is accumulated from the online fees and the 3 units. Because one unit I paid 70, the other one I paid 100, which is the shitty one that I'm talking about. Then another one I paid $50, and the $50 unit was where I rent from. So that was very convenient. Not great, but very convenient. So that's basically $220, and add another $90 on top of the fees. So that gives me like $355 or $360 just in that, and then with mileage and everything, that brought it to like close to 900 and something bucks, or 700 and something dollars, something like that. Man, I'll say 8. So let's, yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna round it off and say $1,100. It could be more, but I'm gonna show you guys a couple of photos. So if you're eating something, be forewarned right now. Just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And of course, you know, when somebody stages a unit, it's staged. So you don't know, you know, you could be an expert on anything. It is what the fuck it is. Just to show you guys, this is how I left the unit, which is not what I wanted to do, but the site online told me, you know, just don't leave everything out. This is how I left it. And I just want to let me get some real nasty. Oh, okay. Let me get some real nasty photos just to give you guys a. Even when I showed my boy Tony, he was pissed the fuck off for me. Like, look at this. You guys probably can't really see that, but that's just a bin. Like, all pure garbage here. Let me just show you guys the. Here's another one. That is a dirty, nasty toaster oven with 3 deceased rodents in it. Here is filthy. That had bugs on it. Well, that is, it's disgusting. So I had to salvage as much as I can. I mean, showing you some of this stuff, like, it was all dirty clothes, like, disgusting. Like, this is not just clothes, this is garbage, like, garbage clothing. Now, the next couple of photos I'm going to show you, I mean, just to show you the magnitude of how big this unit is. Well, maybe it's better that way. That's pure garbage. Now, I had to climb in and around all this. Let me show you, like, just to give you a prime example, all the kitchen appliances and stuff in here was filthy. That is some kind of disgusting. And I have a strong stomach. And I almost regurgitated a couple times. Oh. Let me see if I can. I don't really know how to glare. Okay. This is a Vaseline. That's the Vaseline with animal feces inside. There you go. That is animal feces. So I sent all these photos. I sent these photos to ooh. And this is all around. Just to give you guys one thing about me is, whether you like me or not, nobody up here can never sit here and call me a contradictive hypocrite, a bigot, and you damn sure can ever come up here and call me a liar. Nobody can catch me in a lie because I'm straightforward. I'm too straightforward, and I call a spade, regardless of how you feel about me, whether you say I'm a racist, a bigot, whatever. You can never sit here. Anything I've ever said about race related, has always been 110% truth. Whether you agree with it or you happen to be that race I'm talking about, even my own race. I've never fucking came up here and not been truthful about anything. Not even 0.% deceptive. Never. And that's why I'm gonna come up here and tell you guys about this bullshit. Because that's exactly what this is. It is bullshit. As a matter of fact, I'm not gonna even tarnish the stuff that I've gotten. I'm gonna just put this video out, and then I'm gonna do the other video showing you guys the toys and stuff I picked up. Because I don't want to tarnish it with this video. I'm just gonna, you know, change it and put this video. Be aware of Columbia Self-Storage. They are a rip-off. They like to stage garbage units. That's what this is gonna be. I'm glad I just thought about that, because I feel like I would tarnish the stuff that I have by showing you guys that after this outbreak of craziness. Because again, it's already 30 minutes, and I only plan on spending about 10-15 minutes talking about this. But I'm just so pissed the fuck off about it that it's deplorably disgusting that companies are allowed to do this. Now, the good thing about it is, in a way, I won and I lost. I lost because I paid $100 for a room that they ordaintly knew that they staged and put a lot of garbage in it, and I confronted her about it, and she even tried to double back the talk. And I said, listen, you should go back to the office before police got to get involved. And I saw her just like that. Because at that point, I was ready to put my hands on her. I was literally ready to put my hands on her. Like, she wanted to act like a bitch that liked to eat pussy and look like a man. She was about to get her Spanish ass whooped like she was a nigga that broke in my house. I was going to put the fucking beats on this bitch. Like, because then she's like, oh, well, no, the person had 2 units, and maybe they took everything from 1 unit and dumped it in here. And I said, well, how can they do that so why'd you guys call it a manager special? And I said, listen, miss, don't say another fucking word. Just go back to the office, please. Go back before police got to be called. I said it just like that. And mind you, I was in the back of the truck at this time. Because if I was close to her in the storage unit, I'd be in a Millville municipal building right now, facing charges of assault. Like, that's where I was going. And on my kids, I mean that shit. I mean that shit like the love I got for G.I. Joe. Like, on some real shit. Y'all thought that video with the Mexican dude, me knocking his fucking ass. Let me tell y'all something about me. Whether you like me or not, I'm a real nigga. I'm that dude. You know, if you ever had somebody in your life that ever said, you know, some people deserve a lot of leave alone, I'm that motherfucker. I am legal, and I'm gonna put it like that. I know how to use what I use when I'm legal. And these hands, believe it or not, I'm that nigga. I don't talk the way I talk when I have to because I'm just some dude that talks with his mouth. No. I am a more physical person than I am a verbal person. So let that shit sink in. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you gotta protect yourself by protecting others. Because there's always there's always a consequence to your actions. And then sometimes when you're sitting in the jail cell, you're like, why? I mean, I never did, but you guys know what I'm saying. Or how, you know, it's so easy to get caught up in shit and get yourself wrapped up in issues. But it's crazy. And then they sit here and tell me, oh, well, maybe the person, like, how can it be a manager's unit if you guys let a person take all their shit and dump it in a unit? That doesn't make sense. Like, nothing she said makes sense. Why? Because it's all a lie. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that is what's been going on this week. So, unfortunately, this week, my units were all salvageable shit. I mean, can I make money on them? Yes. Am I going to break bank? No. Now, going on before I finish, because I almost did. I almost forgot to talk about some other people that do storage units up on YouTube and like to post like everything they find is gold. I think sometimes these individuals buy stuff and maybe even storage units from individuals that store in these places. And I also think sometimes they get lucky and they get storage units with good shit in it. But I don't think it's always that case. I think they just do it for views and they get paid from YouTube. I think a lot of people stage units because it doesn't make sense. I mean, if I've been doing this for this long and I haven't come across half the shit you come across, it doesn't. And it's not because, oh, I'm a bitter person. It's just common sense. Because if you think about it, people have the same shit in the same storage units. Just because you're in another state, another country, or whatever the fuck, don't mean everybody have different products. No, everybody, this is worldwide. Everything gets shipped worldwide and statewide. So it doesn't make any sense on why me and a lot of other people I know get stuck with garbage, and then a lot of these other people have crazy subscribers and they getting paid from YouTube. If you're a real person doing what I do, it's kind of like Jadakiss versus Jay-Z. You sell your soul and yourself to everybody and have this image by being staged in a marriage that now you guys making it work. You become a guy that went from being a drug dealer in one of the worst neighborhoods in Brooklyn, and now all of a sudden he married this person, and now his popularity, everything changed. He's on a whole nother lane versus a dope ass MC that's for the people, that's not nowhere near as big as him, but a better rapper than him, but has better charisma and everything than him, but at the same time you're not on that same level. I feel like I'm Jadakiss, and I feel like all these other people are like Jay-Z's level. I think it's more about the content people want to stage to be seen so others can see, and they just they don't know how to do this, they don't know how to get into it, but at the same time they find the glamour behind people finding all this dope shit. It's bullshit. I do know that some people that they have hiccups along the way, but it's just that I like being straightforward, straight real. What I get and what I see is what you get and what you see. To sit there and lie to oneself is pathetic. I'm just gonna end it. I'm gonna end it on that. And it's not me being a bitter person. It's me being a person that knows common sense and looks at shit for what it is, not for what he thinks, but for what it is. And I say that because it's bullshit. And I'm not saying, oh, well, I understand, certain states and stuff, you are going to have people that have more guns and more weapons than others, because a lot of states you're allowed to have, or they're a lot more freer with being able to pick up weapons and stuff than other states. I agree to that, but to find so much great shit in almost every unit you get, and it seems like the more subscribers you get and the more your views go up, the more you're finding great shit, that's just bullshit. I mean, I know some people just too stupid out there to sit here and decipher that. I'm going to be straightforward with you guys. If I find or see something good, you're going to know about it. If I find or see garbage, you're going to know about it, like what's going on with this video. So anybody out there, whether you are one of these staged individuals or whatever, you decide to get into storage units, keep all that shit in mind. I'm going to start going around showing more shit in my storages. Good, bad, and the ugly. Like, this was beyond ugly. This was precious ugly. Yeah, it's distastefully fucked up. It was filthy, it was disgusting. But anyway, now you guys know. So shame on Columbia Self-Storage. I don't give a fuck what state or city they're in. They're all the same. They're all corrupt pieces of shit. Maybe once in a blue, depending on how many units they get, you may get lucky enough to get a unit they didn't get a chance to go through yet or do nothing with. But I'm gonna tell you it's trash. Peace.